What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. One Piece 461. We are in some rarefied air here where like these episodes are just getting better after better after better. Because with One Piece, with there being so many episodes, you kind of get lost in the arcs of like there's epic episodes and there's really just like slap, knee, gag, slice of life episodes, and then there's like, oh, we're back to epicness, and then it just kind of dips out. That's what happens. I feel like that's with any arc, not just One Piece, when you just kind of get these like elongated arcs. And that could happen here as well. But like what's developing on screen right now is going to be pretty great. Now I'm curious of, I feel like the only thing that could throw off the vibes, if that's the word I'm looking for, of the kind of like the watching experience here of like Whitebeard, the Navy, admirals, you know, everybody under him, Luffy showing up, yada yada yada, warlords. Like this is building, like this is some serious material, serious world building. We finally get to see, you know, the Marines and how they feel with Whitebeard's like right there in their face. This is what they're, this man and his crew and his power and influence is what they're willing to risk all out war for. Why they've called in all the warlords and all the vice admirals and why they've essentially have all their cards on the table right now, that we see kind of like their military showing it, like their force of strength. The reason they're doing all that is for this man right here who just showed up. So I feel like these next couple episodes could just be like banger after banger after banger after banger if the story allows it to. The only thing I feel that could like splash some water in our face is a buggy Mr. 3 moment that they kind of did the entire Impel down. Of just having him be, I mean, I take like they're the Usopp and the Nami and the Chopper, those two of the most recent arcs. You know, you always can cut to them for like a comedic something, crazy animated eyeballs popping out of the head, screaming, crying for their lives. I hope that they let the, again, I don't want to use the word vibes, but they kind of let the vibes, they let the atmosphere, they let it like build, like let it build. I don't need you like cutting to Buggy for like a dramatic crying moment. I want to like let the tone, like let it boil, like let it go, let it build. We got introduced to a bunch of I don't even know what we're calling them, but they seem to be well-known pirates, I guess. Off a name now. Will they actually be anything worth a damn? Do they have any crazy devil's fruit abilities? Are they just going to be fodder? I have absolutely no idea. So we've got all that going into it. And what's even more wild is, and we brought this up last time, like they despise Gold Roger so much. I need more of Gold Roger, of like, it's worth essentially having no morals, no human decency at all, that you would go around killing pregnant mothers, infants, toddlers, children, anything connected to this man's name, like you would kill. It wasn't like, oh, we'll just, you know, we'll keep an eye on them, you know, or they go around with like just that name, like, but what does that mean that it turns into? I know that he was kind of like, I mean, I really don't have any knowledge of like what it is that like Gold Roger actually was, what it is that he actually did. I'm gonna need a flashback of that to see like why the military would essentially have no human, because when you go around like killing pregnant women and unborn babies and just born babies and kids and toddlers, like you're really trying to cover something up there. Like, do they just not want a great pirate era again? Like, was that era so bad that they think the name of insert, let's say Ace Roger, the name Roger would just inspire so many and it'd just be too much to deal with and they don't want an uprising of that again? Or was he just out here doing just the most wild, heinous shit? I don't know. I don't know what it is they're afraid of. Just the name and what it could invoke inspiration, support-wise. And then it's, I don't even want to say like he was doing the wrongdoing, because we know the Marines aren't, they're not like this, I don't know, gold star of morality to look to anyway. With what, I mean, what we've seen them do. And I feel like they're really trying hard to keep up this image. So I'm curious of like, and this is going to take a while to get to, who knows if and when we ever get to it, of like, does the, because you got to bring. I know we're kind of going on here for 5 minutes. When you talk about the fact of like the revolutionary army and what Luffy's dad is trying to accomplish and do, well, we don't know what he's trying to accomplish. But if like most of the higher ups know like the Marines are kind of like not the best, and most of the people that like maybe his dad rolls with, like what is he trying to start a revolutionary for? To have people in charge that are just better than the Navy? Better meaning like there's humanity to us, there's actually right and wrong. Like, is that what he's trying to start a revolutionary for? A revolution for? And I'm curious of like, is that what the story of One Piece is going to become, as far as like what Luffy gets pulled into and involved into? Because we see like, you know, with Vivi and Alabasta and that corruptness that he helped like kind of like get the hell up out of there, and what Moria was doing was just wrong, and helping free Nico Robin. Like, these aren't, you could say like, and you could just chalk all this up to like, oh well, this is part of the journey for the One Piece, haha. As he's like getting involved in these like military coups and trying to like stop this overrising and uprising and backstabbing and all this like craziness, you just chalk it up to like, well, it's part of him trying to get the One Piece. But no, that's not that's not a normal storyline there, you know. So I'm curious if the story is going to, you know, really start to evolve into military versus revolutionary slash people just trying to like, they're just over this military nonsense. Like, they're not the good guys. They're worse than the worst quote unquote pirates out there, and revolutionary, whoever you want to call them to. And I wonder if Luffy and the crew kind of get pulled into getting rid of that, you know? And along the way, we'll talk about the One Piece. So I have absolutely no idea. The whole Gold Roger storyline is interesting. Whitebeard's here. And we've gotten a little bit of Whitebeard already with his like kind of interactions with Shanks there for a little bit. But we don't know about them, man. Like, I'm very curious of like the whole Jinbei storyline. Is there a mutual like respect back and forth between them, or does Jinbei just like blindly support him because what he did for Fishman, but Whitebeard like secretly hates Fishman? He doesn't really care for them at all. He could care less if he speaks to Jinbei. There's a lot of questions with that. We've been rambling for 7 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's see what we've got. He's literally right on the doorstep. So who coded all this for them? Somebody had to help them out, or does he have somebody that can do that for him? Who helped them out? They've infiltrated the bay. And who opened the doors? How's Luffy and the crew getting in? Oh, no, First Division Commander? First Division, like, is that his right hand? Is that his Zoro, or... No way that's the way he gets introduced by some rando dando white cloak. Is this him walking with his IV bag? He infiltrated us so easily. Oh shit. Okay, no, he actually has a staff. Or is it a staff? Doesn't he have like an axe or like a sword or something? Okay. I don't know what you call that weapon. You see that in kind of martial arts fighting all the time. I don't know what you call that. Wow. Whew. He's not hooked up to all the IV bags and stuff like we saw him last time. I wonder what the reason is, because he's about to... That laugh is ridiculous. It's because he's gonna have to throw hands, and like there's no, we can't be hooked up to that and throw hands. Or was he recovering specifically from something from the last time we saw him a couple hundred episodes ago? I don't know. Who opened that? Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah. So Dragon would have showed. And Luffy knows that information. So he knows who Ace's dad is. Wow. That's wild that that's never slipped out with how airheadedness he is. It's wild that that never... I mean, of course, for storytelling purposes, you're not going to tell us. But remember when Nami and all them found out that they were brothers? I'm surprised Luffy didn't say something like, well, we're not technically brothers, but, you know. Showed up for you, bro. The world's going to go to war for you. What the... What's happening? Is he about to flex and bust out of here? What's happening? Is it starting? Is All Out War starting? Whoa, 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 whoa. Did he just crack reality? What am I looking at here? Is he Star and Stripe? Can he just like change the rules of the... Again, hockey, Devil's Fruit, combination... Bro. The One Piece story fumbled so bad not making water Devil's Fruit. I don't give a damn what you say, it'd be too OP. Yes, it would be, but that would be amazing to see. What? Clearly, there's people here that know what he does and what his ability is. And so he has 14 division leaders. This is what I imagine Luffy's... This is what I imagined Luffy's crew was going to be when I first started watching One Piece. Of like, oh, he's going to be leading these fucking fleets of ships, 100 ships deep. Zoro and all these others are going to be commanders and yada yada. And there he goes. That is so wild that like Luffy and his brain rot never let that slip when they were talking about Ace and his father and Garp and... Where did he get the Devil's Fruit from is my question, because I like to see the backstories on that of like, because like with Blackbeard, he has the power of a Logia, right? I feel like there's got to be a lot of people out there like Blackbeard that are seeking these like... See, he's hooked up to the IVs that are seeking these like otherworldly Logia Devil's Fruits that would do anything to get their hands on them. Blackbeard cannot be the only one. Feels like a fumble of an opportunity if he's the only one that's expressed in the story to be that way. That like, how does somebody come across the fire Logia? How does someone come across the lightning and like, where do you just find this? It's just dangling from a tree in your backyard, like luck of like just the luck of the draw, or what? And that's so wild that because I was like, there must be a relationship between Shanks and Ace if they're brothers because he knows Luffy, he's so close to Luffy, but no. So where are the Shanks and Luffy interactions that we've seen in the flashbacks of like Luffy eating the fruit and Shanks rescuing him and losing an arm? That's pre-Luffy getting introduced to Ace? I think it is. Okay, I was very curious of how we came to be in Whitebeard's possession. We sought him out. Damn. What the hell? How did that fight go? Tell me Jinbei wins that, right? They've been fighting for 5 days straight. I feel like Ace wears out first before this juiced, roided out Fishman, no? So at this point in the story, Ace is as strong as a warlord? Because they just still made it out. Unless you're trying to give me the excuse that Jinbei is the weakest of the warlords, which I just don't think is true. So at this point in the story, Ace just leaving home, getting his hands on a Logia Devil's Fruit, and just you know, doing some ruffian pirate things with his friends. He's as strong as a warlord. Oof. Good lord. Maybe that is his first in command. They did say first division leader. Oh god. Okay, he locks them in, so none of his crewmates get hurt. Yep. Classic. Oh. I have a feeling that was not even... Like, there wasn't a fight. That was just like a one-hit thing, right? Surely. That was never actually a thing. I mean, the man just fought a week straight with Jinbei. Hmm. That laugh is ridiculous. It's so wild that like he's so loyal to him as like that's my dad when he's like he's a full-grown mid-age teenager right here. I thought like, oh, he raised him when he was little. Oh, that's the title. Hmm. Now I'm curious if there's a, you know, calls him his son. Does he call anybody else his son like that? Or is there any other type of relationship? Or did they truly develop like a strong relationship? Like, would Whitebeard go... You'd like to think, maybe. Would he go this far for any of his other crewmates? His first division leader or anybody else? Or is it because the two of them have that quote-unquote father-son relationship bond? I don't know. Or is it just Ace specifically? That Whalmer ship is ridiculous. So what about his crew? What about his boys? Just never to be seen again? Thatch. Maybe. Yeah, I'd like to know what happened to my crew. Uh-oh. Ooh. Oh, did he bring in his crew too? I was about to say, we're stronger than you and you're not going to jump overboard, so what do we need to put you in shackles for? I mean, he could burn down the entire ship. That is true. He could do that. Could just say, fuck this, and burn the whole thing down. How do you even get that close? Does nobody guard his room or anything? I don't know the purpose of the IV. I don't know if it's something to do with his powers or what. How long did this go on for? Someone better go rescue him. Oh, I wanted to see who the one was that went to get him. Well, how long does this go on for? Does he get to see his squad or what? Surely? Is this... Who's that? Eh? You're not gonna show us who that was? Oh, he's the number one. Okay, so maybe this really is... Okay, so he does call all of them sons. Okay. I didn't know if that was just a specific like type bond that he and Ace developed or if it was just everybody. So is this the dude? Is that him? Is that Whitebeard Zoro right there? Is that Gold Roger's Rayleigh? Is this who this is? True. I mean, they did kind of just take us, by the way. Yes, we were seeking to defeat Whitebeard, but like, we did kind of just get taken. I don't know if we wanted this, but that's so wild of like, I can't really blame Ace for like not wanting to just, you know, fight. Like he wanted to become his own Whitebeard and his own king of the pirates. He didn't want to sail under somebody else. Look who it is. No such ambition, my ass. Eating the pies and shit. Still, things never change. I can't wait for Blackbeard to get his. I don't know why. I just hate his character. I don't like hate it like a visceral hate, but like, I wouldn't mind seeing him get the business. But yeah, again, I don't blame Ace for like wanting to kill him and like not just like fall in line. He had his own Gold Roger dreams. Mm-hmm. You just tell him who his dad was, I'm assuming. Yep. Yeah. That is true. But he's got to know at the same point that, like, with that information, he probably has all the info that we as a viewer have of, like, the military out here looking to snuff out anything related with Roger. I wonder if that made Whitebeard feel a certain way, one or the other. He ate the bone too, by the way. He ate the bones. Because I was curious of that as well. That was another question of like, did Whitebeard take him in as at a young age because he knew who his father was? But like, what does that mean to be like related to Roger? Like, as far other than the military fearing you of what I guess you could become. But do you get anything out of like seeking that out, of like letting Ace in, knowing who his dad is? Probably not. And he was already well established before Whitebeard knew that information, we think. I bet you he would hate it. That's gotta be that's gotta be the worst. Imagine Goku and the Marines find out that Whitebeard, their biggest threat, has Roger's offspring in his possession. That's ridiculous. That is actually the worst. Ooh. He knows which devil's fruit that is, doesn't he? Because he's been researching it. And there he goes. Yeah. Was that the 4th Division leader that tried to talk to us the first time we woke up? Oh shit, I think that was 4th Division leader, no? It was, wow. What do you mean this is an exception? Yeah. So Whitebeard didn't even sanction him to go do that. And he loses 2 division commanders in this. 3! Well, I guess Blackbeard wasn't, but like... Because at this point in time, Blackbeard didn't have Devil's Fruit in him. I don't know if Blackbeard is worth a damn without the Devil's Fruit, which I guess you could say for like 90% of characters. Are they worth a damn without their Devil's Fruit? Who knows? Well, imagine if he just stayed, then there'd be no story. Man's been through some battles. Look at those scars. Ah! But he didn't tell him to go. Interesting. I mean, the most wild thing was, like, I don't know what it is that he's, what this fucking... I don't know what he's doing. Goku said something. Let's see if we can get what he said. He said something like he knew specifically what it was, or at least an idea. What is it that he said? Coming up anytime soon? He says, where's that explosion coming from? A sea quake. He's distorting the sea. Yes, we all see that. How? We're all witnessing that. How is he physically doing that? Again, there's a lot of questions of like hockey, Devil's Fruit hockey, who knows? Another solid episode there as well. That was I feel like that kind of gave us a little bit of a breather. It was a good episode. But it laid the foundation of like their relationship a little bit, because I had a lot of questions on that of when did Ace come in his possession? Was Whitebeard using him because he knew that he was Roger's son, and what that might be able to grant him or do, or what part Ace could play, you know? And then I wanted to know how Ace got his hands on the Devil's Fruit and yada yada yada, blah blah blah. So we kind of got a good explanation of that. And I was curious if like Shanks and Ace had a relationship because of, you know, Shanks was with Kid Luffy. But it looks like, I'm assuming after Luffy, you know, accidentally ate the rubber fruit, Ace lost his arm and took off with his crew and sailed. After that, Garp shows up, plucks Luffy out of there, drops him off to where Ace is, and then they develop that relationship. So there's no Shanks and Ace interaction. Then Ace goes off, starts his own crew. I would have loved to see how he got his hands on that Devil's Fruit. Because like I said, some of these are busted. Like, you know, Blackbeard's like, I've been searching for this. You know, goes out of his way, backstabs his crew, all this type of shit. Throws away a bunch just to get that Devil's Fruit. You know, he was looking for that one specifically. Shit just isn't like... maybe it is sitting on a countertop in a random bar on an outskirt island, you know. So I would just love to know how people come across some of these like busted fruits. Is it just like you're just out there walking around one day and you just see it? I don't know if we'll ever get explanation on that either. But a lot of developing, a lot of moving parts right there. I think the only thing I wish I would have gotten to see is Ace getting his Devil's Fruit. Aside from that, though, I mean, we got to see Blackbeard on the crew and like his treachery, and Ace, how he goes into his possession. And again, I mean, I do agree with Ace in the earlier days of like, I'm trying to become you. I'm trying to defeat you. I don't want to sail under you. So of course I'm going to try to take this man out. Was there any of Ace's original crewmates in any of those shots that we saw post him coming onto Whitebeard's ship? I thought they would have pulled on that relationship a little bit more. Of like, they said, oh, your crewmates are here. You know, we beat them up, but they're not gonna die. We didn't really see him like interact with them again, and I couldn't tell if they were on that ship right there in the panning shot we just saw of everybody. Regardless, though, good stuff. I'm very curious to see what 162 has. We'll leave it there and keep going. Appreciate it, everybody. A like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always,